Hello everybody, it's Keith from Cause for the Calves, and I run a calf rearing business in the southwest of Western Australia, and we rear both dairy heifer calves and dairy bull calves. There's both sexes in this paddock, bulls and heifers. Now I just want to briefly explain the purpose of what we do and the reason for that. Now obviously dairy cows need to have a calf to produce milk, and milk is something that most people enjoy and need, and it's a needed foodstuffs, and so we try and give the calves the best life we possibly can. Now the thing about it is that the dairy bull calves, there's this bad reputation around the world that dairy farmers do all this bad stuff to dairy calves, and the industry is all tainted with, you know, like euthanasia of dairy bull calves and all this sort of stuff. Now, to the best part where we live, that doesn't happen, right? It's just totally blowing up, in my opinion. Obviously I'm not the world thing. There could be places in the world where things like that happen, but here it definitely does not happen, right? But having said that, then you'll be wondering, oh, well then there's no problem. What are you doing, right? But the issues are that we rear both dairy bulls and heifers. Now the heifers calves have value, but they're not our animals. The bulls are, but the heifers are not our animals. So we earn a little return from rearing those calves, and they go back to the dairy and so on, right? But the dairy bull calves, they can obviously get sold on, and they're growing up to be fully grown animals, and they become dairy beef or forever animals or whatever they want to be. Because they're hand-reared animals, they're really friendly, and obviously some make their homes to dairy beef. Other ones make their homes to forever homes. They end up wherever in the southwest of Western Australia, and because they're dairy stock, they stay in the southwest of Western Australia. They don't go travelling over east like with beef cows, because there's just no market for doing that, because they take longer to grow and all of that. And all those details I'll go into and explain in later videos. But the issues that we have with dairy bull calves is that we take in dairy bull calves the same as dairy heifers. Now the bull calves don't have a value to the farmer as such, so then why would they care for them and treat them equally as the heifer? So we solve that problem. We give them what is known like a sale yard value for a week-old calf. But we do that from day one. When they're 2 days old, we pick them up. We give them the value of the current market value of that calf, because when you put a monetary value on the animal, then there's no discrepancy within the farmer to how to treat the animal. They're all treated exactly the same. So they're expensive heifers and the bulls, they all get treated equally. There's no removing the bull early and slaughtering them or whatever it might be. They're all treated the same, and so we pick them up after 2 days, and we do it as nice as we can. I'll explain the whole situation, or the way in which we do it, so you can fully understand all of the processes, and be able to get a complete grasp of the whole picture of what goes on. Now the thing is with dairy bull calves, yes, they're worth money, okay? But the problem is that because we've only limited land space, we're on about 30 acres of land, it's great for doing this where you got the more high intensity, and you're getting in feedstuffs like the quality milk from the dairy. All these guys only drink warm whole cow's milk, which would otherwise be human milk, but we don't cool the milk. We go out to the dairy every single morning, and while the cows are getting milked, we collect the milk straight from the cows without running it through the cooler. So it's still warm milk. We're about 10 kilometres from the dairy. We bring it back here and feed it out straight away every single morning. And they get around 5 litres of milk per day of the whole cow's milk. And it's not, no antibiotics, there's no altering of the milk, there's no taking the cream off it or anything like that. It is just 100% whole cow's milk that would otherwise be human milk. So they're drinking what they would do if they were out in a paddock, or if not even better, because there's no issues with the mums. It's human milk. Now, of course, that comes with a monetary value, which we pay for that milk and to feed these bull calves as well. I'll go into explaining all of the details of what the costs are of feedstuffs and that in later videos, and explain the whole process of how much milk they drink and over their life that they're on the milk and that sort of stuff. But the number one thing is that when you create a value for the farmer for having bull calves, then of course they're all treated equally and fairly. So heifer, bull, they're all come in the yards, we do our thing. And problem is on our end is that we can only hold them till say 3 or 4 months of age, 5 months of age, say, somewhere around that sort of age bracket. And then they have to be moved on to other farms. And then, like I say, some obviously go to dairy beef. Some of them would go to homes, forever homes, but I'm not going to paint rosy pictures for everyone. Like, the reality is that the dairy industry needs calves to make milk. These calves have then got a use for the food chain. I understand all of that. That's life, You like a steak on a barbecue, whatever it is, that's life. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to be an animal activist. I'm not going down any of those lines at all. Hence why I'm not even saying, bad things about the dairy industry. And it may be in other countries, I don't know, but it's certainly not bad here. But we are located about 90 miles or 140 kilometres one-way trip to the sale yard. In Australia, they have to be 1 week old or older before we can take the calves to sale. And what we do by only being 10 kilometres from the dairy farm is that we transport them here 2 days after birth, and then they're fed their colostrum milk and their transition milk into whole milk. And then they grow to be beautiful little animals. Now, the problem that we face is that every single time where the first, say, 4 months of a calf's life is the most expensive time in their life, where they're drinking the most expensive foodstuffs, which is milk. They're eating the most expensive grains, which is, to help build their rumen. I'll go into explaining all animal husbandry stuff in other videos. And the quality cereal hay, all for rumen development. Vitamins, drenches, medical treatments, everything, housing that you see that we have here, everything is specific to purpose to create the best quality calf we possibly can. And there's a reason behind every little step that we do. And when you say grow a 4-month-old animal, is that that's exactly the wrong time to sell them as far as dollar return goes. So we've spent all of the money, like giving the farmer some money to buy the animal. Then you're feeding them the most expensive feedstuffs for that, whether it be bull calves are nearly always reared for about 12 weeks, something like that on our farm, right? And so you're feeding them for the most expensive part of their life for 3 months on the most expensive feedstuffs, which is milk and out. Grass that you see around is the cheapest feedstuff, but of course they can't digest that until you do all of these things to develop the rumen and the animal to be mature enough to be able to digest that food. And so that's why mammals have milk for their nutrients, right? That's just how it works. So that's where we run into problems with rearing bull calves, is that we provide the monetary value for the farmer, so they're all treated equally. They drink the most expensive feedstuffs, they eat the most expensive foodstuffs, and we're selling them at an age which is right after when they're finished having all of that stuff. And the calves are at their most valuable per day, but the least valuable in value. Like, seriously, a 3-month-old reared calf is hardly any more value. Obviously it's more value, but it's in proportion to its costs. It doesn't add up. But we still do it, and we're funding rearing bull calves with our heifer calf money that we make, because they're all on contract. But it's as I'll go into later videos explaining medical situations, our personal situations, why we're struggling and really need some support to be able to continue doing what we're doing. But I'm giving an absolute honest view on exactly how the process works, and not using emotions to tug at heartstrings or anything like that, but just laying down the facts of the entire process. So hopefully I can take people on a journey of being able to see what the processes are and the reasons why we do every little stage, and etc., and why it actually obviously costs a lot of money to rear a calf, whether it be a bull or a heifer. Heifers are good because essentially we get paid per day for a heifer, but with bull calves we only get paid whatever it is from the sale whenever they're like 4 months of age. And yeah, like I was explaining, that's the worst time to sell them. But you need lots and lots of land to be able to not be pushed into that position all the time, and unfortunately that's just the way it is. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you very much. Love yous all. Take care. See ya.